Welcome to Inside Integrative Therapy, where we explore the questions people often have long before they schedule their first therapy appointment.
I'm Janelle Adams, licensed marriage and family therapist and registered art therapist with In Touch Counseling Services. There is a particular group of women I think about often in my work. They're capable, they're responsible, they're the ones others rely on. They may have built successful careers, raised children, maintained relationships, supported family members, and learned how to keep moving even when life is difficult. And because they've been able to do all of that, they may not think of themselves as someone who needs therapy. They think, I'm functioning. Other people have it worse. I should be able to handle this. Or perhaps I'll make an appointment when things calm down. But sometimes things don't calm down. And sometimes the person who is holding everything together is the person who has had the least opportunity to stop and ask what she actually needs. Being high functioning can sometimes make it harder to recognize when support would be helpful. You may be still going to work, still answering the emails, still showing up for your family, still making dinner, still meeting deadlines, and still being the person who everyone knows they can count on. But functioning and feeling aren't always the same thing. You can be accomplishing everything you're supposed to accomplish and still feel emotionally exhausted. You can be successful and still feel disconnected. You can love your family and still need space for yourself. You can be deeply grateful for your life while also recognizing that something needs to change. For some women, pushing through has been an incredibly effective strategy. It may have helped you succeed. It may have helped you become independent. It may have taught you how to solve problems, stay productive, and keep going when things get difficult. These are strengths, but a strength can become exhausting when it's the only strategy available. Eventually, you may begin noticing that things are harder to push through. Maybe you're more irritable than you used to be. Maybe you're constantly thinking about everything that still needs to be done. Maybe rest feels uncomfortable. Maybe your relationships don't feel the same way they once did. Or maybe you're simply asking yourself, why don't I feel more like myself anymore? One of the misconceptions about therapy is that you need to be in crisis before you have a reason to seek help. You don't. Therapy can be a place to intervene earlier. It can be a place to slow down long enough to understand what's happening beneath the surface, to look at patterns, to explore what's changed, to consider whether the way you've been living still reflects the person you are becoming. And sometimes therapy isn't about fixing something that's broken. It's about creating enough space to hear yourself again. This is one reason I use an integrative whole person approach at In Touch Counseling Services. I don't want to understand only the symptom that brought you through the door. I want to understand the person experiencing it. That may mean exploring relationships, life transitions, stress patterns, emotional experiences, nervous system regulation, or creative expression. For some clients, art therapy can provide another way to explore experiences that are too difficult to put into words. And when clinically appropriate and aligned with the client's goals, nutritional psychology and other wellness factors may become a part of the conversation. None of these approaches are one size fits all. The point is personalization. Your experience is your goals, your needs, and the direction you want to take your life. So if you've been telling yourself, I'm fine, I just need to get through this busy season, I should be able to handle it, I would invite you to consider a different question. Not how much more can I handle, but what would it look like to feel supported instead of simply managing? You don't have to wait until everything falls apart to begin asking that question. If you're a woman who has spent years being capable, dependable, and strong for the people around you, therapy can be a place where you don't have to perform any of those roles. You can simply be a person who is allowed to pause, a person who is allowed to be curious, a person who is allowed to want something different. Thank you for spending a few moments with me.